Hello, Sacred Center community, Aquidneck Island and beyond. It's Rev Shelley Dungan. Thank you for taking time to do some yoga with me today, and I welcome you. You don't need experience to do this practice. You do need a yoga mat, and there's a few things that you might want to have. If you've got a yoga block, you can bring that out and put that off to the side. And if you don't, you could use a stack of a couple of books and have that close by in case you're going to want it. And if you have a yoga blanket, find that. And if not, you can use a beach towel and just have that all folded up. So we're going to start seated, and I'd like you to tuck the blanket underneath your hips if you would like to do that. Alternatively, you can sit back on your heels, just like that. So thank you for being here. I'm going to start us with a reading called Yoga's Reach by Dana Falds. It is a wonder how a simple stretch deepens breath, and an elegantly held pose grows to touch the whole of me. Like sugar stirred into tea, the potency of yoga spreads from body into mind and heart, revealing an ocean of energy that heals and opens, holds me close, and sets me free, all in the same moment. So the reach of yoga. And we'll start our time together with 3 rounds of Om, and you can follow my lead. Breathe in. Again. One more time to unify our voices. Please rest with your palms on your knees or on your thighs. Slide your eyes closed. Understand that you are setting apart time for spiritual practice. We'll be using our bodies, but it's also for our mind and our heart as well. We start by dedicating our practice to something good and positive. So please take your left hand, place it right over your heart. Feel the touch of the hand there. Your head can bow forward. I'd like you to honor yourself, your uniqueness, where you are on your journey, and this time that you have set apart to do something truly beneficial and wholesome. So honoring yourself, dedicating the practice to your well-being, and then adding the right hand on top of the left, signifying that we're going to dedicate some of the merits of this practice to other beings. So you might want to do that right now. Those that you love, or those that you know that are suffering or struggling, or even just to the greater good. And you can slide your eyes open, place your palms right down on your knees, and we're going to work with the breath just a little bit to start to get it to flow. We're going to use the box breath. So I'd like you to have the imagery of when you breathe in, you're coming up one side of the box. You're going to pause, holding your breath just for a few moments, coming across the top of the box. Exhale down the third side of the box. Hold the exhale out, and that would complete the square, complete the box. So let's do that together. Inhaling. Pause, hold your breath, and exhale long and steady. Pause on the exhalation, closing the box. Inhale. Pause and hold. Exhale. Pause and hold. One more time. Inhale. Pause and hold. Exhale. Pause and hold. And now just start the flow of breath. You don't need to do any pausing, but I want you to start to feel the boundaries of the breath, the top of the inhalation, the bottom of the exhalation. And see if you can relax a little bit through your belly as you breathe in, so there's some room for the breath. And then as you breathe out, a little bit of energy goes into pressing the breath out of the body. And that's our intention, to keep that breath flowing as we practice together today. And so there are going to be 4 segments to the hour-long practice. Please use them as you wish. On any given day, you might have time to do the whole practice, or you might want to just do 15 minutes of various kinds. So please use it however it serves you and share it with whomever you think would benefit. So we're going to start to move now. So let's lean to the right, forward, left, and back. And if you're still sitting back on your heels, you might want to come and sit down on the mat with your ankles crossed. Weaving the breath and the movement together and starting to feel what's happening. You'll be becoming progressively more present, really noticing the temperature of the room, maybe some of the beautiful sights or sounds that are coming to you, the touch of your hands on your knees. What does the cloth or the skin feel like? And is there a smell that you can locate close by, or a taste? Feel the way you're rocking from one sitting bone to the other. Warming up through the spine. Next time you come forward, please pause. Reverse the direction of the circling. Let yourself get a little bit lost in the movement. Also starting to notice if you're holding tension in your face, you can relax that. Sometimes we clench our jaw, kind of squeeze our teeth together. So take note if that's happening for you. Relax your jaw a bit so there's a little space between your teeth. And then wind your way back up until you are still. And keep your left palm on the inside of your left knee. Take your right hand behind you onto the right fingertips or the palm, but you want to sit up tall like your right arm is a second spine helping you to be lifted. And then start to rotate. Bring your low belly around toward the right. Bring your ribs around toward the right, and finally your chest around. And some of you will leave the left hand on the left knee because that just feels good. And others of you will take it over onto the right knee, and you'll have a little bit more of a closed twist. So breathe into a soft belly. Breathe out, firm the belly, open up, sit up a little taller if you can, and keep your shoulders relaxed down away from your ears. Calm, steady breaths. Letting your mind relax. You'll just be following simple instructions, nothing fancy. Other way around, right hand on the inside of the right knee, left fingertips or left palm behind you. Rotate. Low belly comes around, and then the ribs follow, and then the chest. And the gaze is off to the left, wherever is comfortable for you. Opportunity to take the right hand over onto the left knee if that's your preference. Still feeling your seat really rooted to the ground, lifting up through the torso. Soft belly to breathe in, firm belly to breathe out. And then let's untwist. Bring your palms right back behind you on the floor. Lean back, lift your legs up, flip them around so you're going to crisscross the opposite way. Sit back up tall. Please take your right hand out to the side on the floor. Take your left hand out to the side and turn your left palm up and turn your gaze that way. Look down the line of your left arm beyond your left fingertips. And we're going to start to lift up. Bring your left fingertips to 12 o'clock. Root down through your left seating bone and come on over to the side. Good side bend. And you're welcome to pulse in and out of these movements. You certainly can explore them. You can move around any way that feels good for you. You're going to bring your attention to your left rib cage and take the breath over there. So you feel like your left ribs are expanding and your head is soft, like your right ear is just dangling down towards your right shoulder. Just circle the left wrist a couple of times. And then bend your left elbow, put your left hand on the side of your head. Feel that your elbow is really up pretty high. And then diagonally take your left elbow down in the direction of your right knee. We're going to flow like that. Inhale, open up, spin the ribs open, breathe out diagonally, elbow to the knee. And then you just kind of make that your own. And just bear in mind, we all live inside different bodies. Your movements don't need to look like mine. You just need to enjoy what you're able to do right now. And keep your breath flowing. Keep your mind relaxed. If you're going to be talking to yourself in your mind, please try to keep it pleasant and gracious. Let's just pause, lift the hand up, lift all the way up with the trunk of your body. Plant your left hand down, take your right palm up. 12 o'clock here. Sit deeply in your right hip. Start to lean to the left. Side bending here. Nice stretch out through your right ribs. Your head is relaxed with your left ear free to dangle by your left shoulder. And then you can circle the top wrist. And then bend the elbow. Put your right hand on the side of your skull. As we did on the other side, pull the elbow back a tad if you can to spin the chest open. And when you breathe out, diagonally come down, right elbow to left knee. And there we go. Inhale, wide, wide. Exhale, down and across. A couple more times. Next time you come up, just release. Bring your hands down by your side. Come back, lean back onto your palms. And this time, lift your feet off the ground. And we'll be here for a few moments. We're going to be working on boat pose, so a little bit of core strength, which you might already be noticing that's what's happening. If that's too much, put one foot down and just hold one foot up. If you want more, come back and raise your feet further. So that's an option. Another option is to take your hands behind your knees and just hold on a bit. Sit up more brightly with your chest. Feel how your low back lifts to help support the strengthening of your low belly. And there might be some who want to bring the arms out just like this. Breathe. Boat pose. And then bring your feet right down. Hold on to the front of your shins. Sit up tall. Take a couple of breaths like that. You're still strengthening through the whole circumference of your waist. And then bring your hands down by your hips and arrange your body so you can bring your heels out into a straddle. And wiggle them a little bit further so they get as wide as they're able to go. And your toes are generally pointing up if your body will do that. You can take the padding of the buttocks and pull it back a little bit if that helps you sit better. And just remember, you can be sitting on a blanket to help your hips be a little higher. Perfectly fine to bend your knees. So I would like you to take your hands down in front of you. And if your hands cannot touch the mat, that would be a time that you could use your yoga block. We're going to be coming into a straddle forward fold. So here we are. Gaze can drop down, and you're going to start to walk your hands forward to any degree that's possible for you and come to where you feel the stretch get really strong. We call that the first edge, where it feels like that's your limit. So always respect the first edge, and you don't need to push past it unless that feels like the right thing to do. So lengthen out through your torso, Soften the gripping that's probably happening in your thigh bones. You want to feel some length maintained in your torso. Let your head relax and take a few breaths there. Feel that deep stretch from the groin to the inseam of the legs. Slow, steady breaths. And walk your fingertips back in, please. Let's bring the legs back in, crisscross. We're going to take a 5-breath pause. Hands back to the knees. It's like a mini meditation. It's only 5 breaths. But the idea is to just settle, not reach for anything outside of your present experience. Please bring yourself to the top of your yoga mat. I'm going to face sideways so that you'll be able to see what I'm doing. All right, so walk your way on up, press into your feet, and we'll come into mountain pose where we can really start to feel the grounded nature of our feet, the strength of our legs, just a neutral balance for the pelvis. And also the arms now will come down right by your side and feel the length of them. Keep your breath flowing. As well as rooting into your feet, you're extending up through the crown of your head without shrugging your shoulders. So you can just feel front of the body, strong and lifted and solid. Same thing with the back of the body and the sides. And just take a few breaths right here. You're anchored, you're in the moment, you're feeling your breath, you're noticing, you're awake, you're aware. And then we're going to do some fluid movements together. Take the arms down, out and up, big reach in. The palms touch. You can fold, bend your knees a little or a lot, reach for the ground. Slide your hands up to the front of your shins, straighten your arms, straighten your spine, draw your gaze slightly forward. Fold again, reach for the ground. Bend your knees and roll back up to standing. Take your arms out by your side. It's a half sun salutation, so we're going to do that a number of times. As you breathe out, you're going to be folding. As you come into that half lift, you're going to inhale. Breathe out as you fold again. And breathe in as you roll up. Good. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift, extend your spine. Breathe out, fold, navel toward the spine. Breathe in, roll up, root into your feet, reach all the way out and up. And one more time. Exhale, fold on down. Inhale, come up into a half lift. Exhale, fold again. Inhale, roll up. Find your feet, find your legs, reach your arms. Bring your palms together. Draw your thumbs to your heart. Little pause right here. Soften your face. Feel the entire body as one unit. All right, we're going to continue. Arms down, out and up. Big breath in. Breathe out and fold. Empty, empty. Hands to the shins, half lift. Breathe out and fold. Put your fingertips on the ground. Look back. Step back with your right foot as far as you can. Drop your right knee. If you have tender knees, this would be a time to spread a blanket out for underneath your knees. Come on up. Stack your hands on your left knee. You can press into the left knee, really rely on it quite a bit for now. Walk your left foot a little to the left if you feel tippy. And then we'll sink the hips a tad and pull them back up. So a little pulsing of the hips toward the ground. Feel the engagement of your legs as you do this. Be sensitive to what's happening in the front of your right hip. And then next time you lower to a reasonable place. Press into your front foot and into the top of your back foot. I want you to feel strong through the legs. And then if you feel secure, take your arms up overhead. Open them into a wide V if you've got tight shoulders. Hips are staying low. We're grounded through our connection through our feet. And then take your arm bones maybe back just a tad to open your chest. Be aware of the length of your arms. Spread your fingers and reach out. If you don't have any difficulty with your neck, you might want to look up. Really challenges the balance. Breathe. Good. And then look down. Bring your fingertips down. Curl your back toes under. Lift your back knee off the mat. Do your best to step your left foot back next to your right foot. And we're in downward facing dog. Spread your palms wide, strengthen through your arms. Send your hips up really high. Your heels will be sinking and your knees might be bent. And then we'll pedal out the heels. Walking the dog. Good. Please bring both your knees to the ground. Uncurl your toes. Travel your shoulders forward, look forward. When you're lower to the mat, I encourage you to bring down your thighs first, pelvis, belly, ribs. Pause right there. Slide your hands forward so now you're on your elbows into Sphinx pose. Press into the tops of your feet, the tops of your thighs, and into your forearms. Draw your chest forward. Feel the front of your torso opening, back of the spine getting a little squeeze. Shoulders are down away from the ears. And then bow toward the earth. Slide your hands to frame your chest. Press in. Send your hips back. Strong belly helps you do that. Curl your toes under. Downward facing dog. Breathe in, breathe out. Then walk your feet forward all the way to the top of your mat. Probably coming onto your fingertips in the process. Good. Fold towards your legs. Bend your knees. Roll to standing. Push down. Reach out all the way up. Feel the hands touch. Return. Trace the line right back to your heart. Pause right there. A few deep breaths. Scan your body. Notice from the feet all the way up through your legs, hips, torso, arms, chest, and head. And we'll do the other side. Take your arms down, out and up. Big breath in, rooting and reaching. Exhale and fold. Send the breath out completely. Hands to your shins, in breath, heart forward, strong back. Exhale, fold, fingertips touch down, look back, left foot, way back. Drop your left knee. Make sure you feel secure in your front foot. Rise, stack your hands on your right knee. And as before, you can pulse the hips down and up a little bit. Get very grounded and secure in the sole of your front foot and the top side of your back foot. Feel the strength of your legs and your outer hips kind of hugging in. And then drop down to a reasonable place for you. And if you don't feel too tippy, take your arms all the way up. Good. You're rooted to the ground and you're lifted. You're breathing deeply in and out through your nose. You're feeling your lungs expand. You just got a calm gaze out in front of you. Really sensitive to the present moment, just as it is. Every so often you might want to breathe out through an open mouth, if that's helpful for you. Look down, bring your fingertips to the ground, curl your back toes under, and then any way you can make it happen, take your right foot back, step it next to your left, downward facing dog. This time in down dog, let's come up onto the toes,
Perk your hips up pretty high and then sink your heels. So up and down. Chance to get strong through the arms, spread wide through your palms. Good. Both knees to the mat. Uncurl your toes. Travel forward with your shoulders. And we're going to melt to the floor using strong arms to lower us down. Pelvis, belly, ribs, slide your forearms forward so you can be in Sphinx pose. Elongating the distance from the pubic bone right up to the chest. Wide, grounded through your feet and legs. And this time, pull your left shoulder back, tip your right shoulder forward. Just give a little peek over the left shoulder. And the same thing on the other side. Right back to center. Beautiful. Please slide your hands to frame your chest. Peel your body up. Use a strong belly to pull your hips towards your heels. Curl your toes under. Back to downward facing dog. Step onto your left foot. Lift your right foot up a bit. This is three-legged dog. Some of you might want to bend your right knee, circle it around once or twice, or even open the hip up. Lengthen out your right leg, plant your right foot back on that mat, lift up the left, bend at the knee, circle it once or twice, and maybe you open up. Lengthen the left leg, bring it back to the ground, and walk your feet up to meet your hands. Fold, soften your knees, cup your opposite elbows. We're in ragdoll here. Let your spine stretch from your hips to the top of your head. Let go of your elbows. Roll your way back up to standing. Bring your arms out and up. Feel the fullness of your body, fullness of the experience. Slide your thumbs right to your heart. Take a few breaths. Noticing, feeling, sensing, just enjoying being alive. All right, let's take a few other movements together. So you can put your hands on your hips and you can step back with your right foot and turn on your side of your mat, or whatever way is going to allow you to be able to still see the instruction. So I got my feet about the distance, the length of one of my legs. And then I'm going to have you pivot on your left heel, turn your left toes to face away from you, bend your left knee, keep your right leg straight and strong. Take your left hand right on the inside of your left knee, open it just a tad more. Bring your arms out into a T for warrior two. So stretch right out, top side of the arms and underside of the arms. Your feet are wide and really planted into the earth. Turn your palms up. As you breathe in, bring your hands together overhead, straighten that left leg, and then come back. So we're going to come in and out of warrior two. I'm going to breathe in right here and breathe out right there. So let's just link up breath and movement. Grounding, strengthening, relaxed focus. And one more time. Hold the pose, soften your shoulders. Find that you want to feel like you're inwardly very strong, but there's a little layer of softness around the outside. And then you're going to take the right hand back, take your left hand up, lift into exalted warrior. Pause and breathe. Feel that beautiful side bend, open through left ribs. And then travel through warrior two and into side angle. Left forearm on the left thigh bone, palm relaxes, and a big reach up to the right hand. Hips are pretty low. Reach further. Some of you will reach even further than that with your right arm coming along the right side of your head. Feel that length from your right foot to your right hand. And then we're going to turn toward the front foot. So turn, turn, turn. Bring your hands down. Option to drop the right knee, because we're going to take a little twist, or you can keep your right leg straight. Right hand is going to come down onto the mat or onto a block or a book. Left hand comes to the left knee, twist left. Just remember, you can have the knee down, it'll look like this, or you can have the knee off the mat. And if it feels okay, take your left hand up and complete the rotation of the twist. Breathe. Especially that exhale, that's the cleansing, clearing, detoxifying part of the twist. Very nice. Take your top hand down, and if the back knee was on the floor, lift it up at this time. Walk your hands inside the front foot, pivot, and come into a wide leg forward fold. Take a few breaths here. You might feel quite a difference between left leg and right leg. And tuck your heels in now. Flatten down your feet. Bend at the knees. You're going to roll up. Pause with your hands right on your thighs. Good. And then keep your legs like that, but take your hands off your thighs, out to the side. Bend at the elbows. Spread through the fingers. You're in goddess. A lot of strength for the legs right now. And then lift yourself up. Hands back to your hips. And we'll do that little sequence on the other side. So I've got my left foot very much parallel to the short edge of the mat. Pivot on the right heel. Turn your right toes toward the other end of the mat. Bend that left knee. Right knee. And your left leg stays powerful and straight. So this is going to be warrior two on this side. You could take that right inner knee and move it out just a little bit to remind that knee to stay there. Bring your arms out into a wide T. Root into your feet. Feel the strength through your legs, width across your chest, long and strong out through the arms without shrugging your shoulders. So we don't want to do that. And turn your gaze towards your right fingers. Deep breath here. Turn your palms up. Inhale, touch your hands overhead, and then return to warrior two. Breathing out. So breathe in with me here. Breathe out, come back. A couple more times. I hope you're having fun. Pause. Exalted warrior. Left hand comes back, right palm lifts. Reach up. Stay low in the hips if you can. Breathe into that beautiful opening through the right side body. Come back through warrior two and into side angle on this side. Right forearm on right thigh. Reach up through your left hand. Stay solid in your feet and legs. Your chest is open. Some of you will reach further with the left arm. You'll feel a long, powerful straight line from your left foot to your left hand. Deep breath. This is good stuff. And then turn to look down. Bring your hands down. Pivot on the ball of the left foot. Option to drop the left knee. Option to put a block underneath your left hand. We're going to come into a twist. Right hand comes to the right knee. Twist, rotating to the right. Again, twist, start at the base of the spine. Ripple all the way up through the back body. Remember, if you're having your knee down, looks like that. And you're welcome to take your right hand up and make a really powerful connection. An extension from one hand to the other, long line of the spine rotating around. Top hand comes down inside the front foot, and we're going to work our way right back to this wide Footed forward fold, head to the ground. And then please heel toe your feet in until your feet are hip distance apart. Roll your way up to standing, all the way out, all the way up. Palms overhead, slide your thumbs right back to your heart. Here we are, back in mountain pose. Let your hands come by your side. We'll take a 5 breath pause here. Nothing to do, nowhere to go. Just 5 breath meditation. Now that we've finished our standing segment of the class, please come back down into your seat. If you want to put a blanket underneath you to sit on, you might be a little bit more comfortable. I'd like you to extend your right leg out in front of you, bend your left leg, interlace your fingers on the front side of your left shin, and zip your spine up nice and tall. Root down into your right leg and the sole of your left foot. And take some breaths here, just getting a little taller, without shrugging your shoulders up by your ears. So keep them smoothed down away from your ears. Find a sense of balance, lifting up the front side of your torso, the back side, and the sides of the waist as well. And then from here, I'd like you to take your right palm, forearm, or possibly elbow on the front side of your left knee and take your left hand back behind you. We're going to come into a nice twist here. So you're going to push into those back fingertips or the back palm, zip up tall, and start to rotate your way around toward the left. Keep pressing down through your right leg, rotating around, breathing, remembering that soft belly inhale, firm belly exhale. Great, and then bring yourself right back to the center. Take the sole of your left foot and align it right with the inseam of your right leg. And it's going to have your left leg folded, your right leg continuing to be straight. Option to use your blocks here. You could take one to gently support the outside of your left knee. There we go. You can take the other one behind your right knee, and then you've got that support. So you might like that. And then turn your pelvis back to face the front of your mat. Rotate your ribs and your chest around also. Bring your hands down wherever they easily reach, and then drop your gaze towards your right foot. Now we're going to slowly start to lean forward. And when we start stretching the hips in particular, we find out how big a factor genetics are. So we're all constructed differently, and that includes the area of the hips. So you'll find that some stretches are a little easier for you than others. So be gentle with yourself about that. And then the gaze can be long. Trunk of the body is coming forward. Walk your hands, and maybe they will hold onto your right calf or your right ankle. There could be some for whom you can reach the right foot. And we're going to softly fold. Very important that you don't pull yourself into the fold. You need to soften into it. Relax your left hip. Breathe into the length of your spine. Softly fold. Feel how your right ribs are descending in the direction of your right thigh bone. And your right cheekbone descending toward your right kneecap. Smooth, deep breaths. In order to come out, put your hands back on the mat, press in, come up gently until you can feel that you're right back up to where you started. Then you can take those blocks, set them over to the side, tip your left knee back up. And this time, left hand comes onto the front of the left knee, or if you could wrap with the left forearm or the crook of the elbow. Now we're going to twist to the right, so we're twisting into the open space. Take your right hand back behind you. Sit up tall, smooth, easy breath deep into the belly, wide through the chest. And we'll continue to open the hip on the left side. You're going to tuck your left heel in. And we'll do this, and I'll offer it to you in stages. So this is deer pose. You can see that my legs are in a pinwheel shape, and I've got my left heel folded in, and I have my right foot tucked back behind me. So for some of you, especially if you've got any aggravation in your left knee, this might be where you want to go. And you're going to simply bring your hands down, fold forward. You're really leaning and sitting deeply into the left hip. So this is deer pose. Some folks might come down onto the elbows, or maybe you'd use a block to lean on, and just wiggle your way right down into that left hip. Others of you will go the next step, which would be into pigeon pose. So you're going to take your right leg behind you, come up onto your fingertips. I've got my left knee pointing toward my left wrist, and I look over my right shoulder. I can see that my right leg is straight back behind me. My hips are level, so I'm not dropping really over to one side or the other. They're pretty even. And then I come forward with the left elbow, forward with the right elbow, stack hands, and rest the forehead down. And then usually from there, there's a little settling of the chest. Definitely some deep breaths. This is pigeon pose. If it becomes painful for your left knee at any point, return back to deer or find your way out of the pose completely. Soften your forehead, relax your jaw. Let your tongue be soft in the mouth. And feel what's happening through the hips. Whole body responding to this stretch. Three more breaths here. When you're ready to come up, press into your hands, drop down onto your left hip, bring your right leg back around. Oh, let's lengthen both the legs out in front of us. Give them a bounce. And sway your head a little side to side if you want. And then let's have all that fun on the other side. Left leg is long, right leg is bent. Heel is aligned with the right sitting bone. Fingers are interlaced right on the front of the shin. Press down into the left leg, zip up, up, up through the spine. Some awareness about the space above the top of your head that you're moving up into. Keep your shoulders back and down, and you could take your arms out to the sides if you want to do a little strengthening through the arms. Breathe. Low back, low belly, sides of the waist, all assisting in the lift. Taking our twist, left palm, forearm, or crook of the elbow hooks the front of the right knee. Take your right hand back behind you, sit up tall, rotate, pulling your right ribs around toward the back of your space, your left ribs forward. Smooth, deep, even breaths. Again, tongue rests gently in the lower jaw. Maybe a long exhalation through an open mouth. Release the twist, come back to the center. Take the sole of your right foot and kind of marry it up to the inseam of your left leg. Your right knee is bent out to the side. If you like those blocks or whatever you're using as a substitute, you can tuck that in. Makes the pose a little softer, a little more accessible. And then just kind of square your pelvis toward the front of your mat. Same thing with your ribs and chest. Bring your fingertips down and pause right here. Let your hips settle. Let your gaze drop. Smooth, easy breaths as you start to soften forward. Remember not to pull. Your hands might find their way onto your left calf, your left ankle, or your left foot. Breath by breath, you're dropping down, descending. You're feeling the close proximity of your left ribs to your left thigh, maybe your left cheekbone to your left kneecap. Smoothly breathing. Keep letting your body settle and open. Feel what's happening in your right hip. Opening broadly through the low back. In preparation for coming out, put your hands into the mat, walk them all the way back up till you're vertical. Blocks can come out. Tip your right knee up, reset that foot right down on the mat. And right hand or right elbow hooks the front of the knee. Left hand comes behind you. Now we're going to twist, it's a counter twist into the open space. Smooth, big breath deep into the belly. Exhale out, little squeeze. Good, and then back to the center. I'm going to come into deer and then into pigeon on this side. So we've got the right leg folded, and we take the left foot behind us. Right. So you can see that pinwheel shape with the legs on this side. If you're going to be in deer, you're coming forward, and if it's helpful for you, of course, you can have a block for your hands or for your forearms. And you're going to wiggle and sit really deeply down into your right hip and let your head fall forward. Spend some time stretching and breathing like that. If you're coming into pigeon with me, the right leg stays bent as it is. Send the left foot behind and then rotate so that your pelvis is level with the ground or your navel's pointing straight down. So I've got my right knee near my right wrist. I look over my left shoulder. See the leg straight back there, the top of the foot is down, and feeling the level nature of the hips. And then bringing my chest forward, down onto the elbows, they're wide. Stack the hands or even make fists with the hands for the forehead to rest. And then a little bit of wiggle might be necessary to settle. Follow your breath. Allow yourself to get still. Soften your forehead, relax your shoulders. Let your torso sink. Let those deep breaths ventilate not only the oxygen in the blood, but also just ventilate your psyche so that you can have some ease around your emotions, little space in your mind. And then when you're ready, Just come on out, come back up onto your palms, drop over onto your right hip, swing the back leg around, lengthen your legs out in front of you, support yourself with your palms, give a little bounce to your legs, and maybe a little rock back and forth, and then feet wide. Windshield wiper your knees side to side. Okay. And take a 5-breath pause here. Cross your ankles. Come back with your palms down. 5 smooth, deep breaths to do nothing else but notice and feel. From your seat, please find your way down onto your back. So your legs will be bent. Drop onto your back and have a block close by. And take a moment here with your legs bent and your feet hip distance apart. Rest your palms on your belly. Let your upper arm bones rest on the ground. Take a few slow, deep breaths and just notice that your relationship to gravity has changed. You're down close to the earth. And then bring your awareness now down to your feet. Spread them, really anchor them in. Place them about hip distance apart. Bring your arms down by your sides. And we're going to come into bridge pose. So you're going to push into your feet. Elevate your hips up off the ground. And then just see if you can keep lifting them a little bit higher. You're going to press into the back of the head. And you're going to see if you can get this pose to kind of grow a little bit. Something you could consider is walking the backs of your arms under your shoulders so that you can take a bind, palm to palm, interlace your fingers. Press again into your feet. You'll feel weight shift into your shoulders and the back of your head, and pressing down with your arms to the best of your ability. Opening through the chest. Keep energizing the back of your legs and your glutes. Feel the open space on the front side of your body. Take nice deep breaths. Feel how the strength and the support of the back body helps to open the front body. Keep your weight squarely in both feet. Good. And then in order to come out, unbind your hands if you did that. Widen your shoulders. Melt your spine right down to the floor. And just give a little pause right there. Hug your knees in towards your chest. Right hand to right knee, left hand to left knee. Maybe rock a little side to side. Some of you will interlace your fingers and place your forearms on the front side of your knees. You want this to feel good across your low back. We'll come into a supported shoulder stand. You're going to press the feet back down, lift your hips up. Take that block or even a thick cushion could be okay. Put it underneath your hips. And then float one knee in, the other knee in. Your arms are down by your sides. And then lift your feet up. For many of us, the knees will stay quite bent because that's what you need to do to be able to hold your feet up. But really, we want this to be as little effort as possible. It's not a stretch. It's a way of counteracting gravity. To any degree that you can, you want to feel like the feet are floating up above your hips. And maybe you can even notice the gentle downward flow of the fluid from the legs down into the body. Soften your chest and shoulders. Let's really be a dropping and a sinking down with your upper body. You might want to let your feet float apart, come into a little bit of a straddle. You can point and flex your feet. Feel a good stretch on the inseam of the legs, and then bring your feet back up. Pause, feel them again, stacked right above your hips, and then bend your knees. Put your feet down on the mat, hips go up, the block comes out. Then we're going to come into a reclining spinal twist before our final relaxation. Some of you will like to take a more gentle version, which is the feet are wide. Maybe your pinky toes are right near the edge of the mat, and your arms can come out into a T shape, and tip your knees to the left. Let them fall over to the left as far as they go. And then depending on the condition of your neck, if you have a tender neck, you might just need to let the head turn left, or you might want to rotate the head to the right if that feels good. So stay there. Others of you who want a stronger spinal twist, your knees come in, your feet are up, and then you drop your legs to the left. Let your feet drop to the floor. Still the right arm stays out to the right, but you might take the left hand and help press the knees down very gently. Open and drop your right shoulder. You might turn the head a little to the right. Slow, deep breaths, filling up the belly, the ribs, and the chest. Long exhale out. And we'll take it to the other side. So if you're taking the gentler version, your feet are flat and wide. Tip the knees to the right. Let them drop to however far they want to go. Place your head wherever it makes the most sense. And those of you that want the deeper twist, knees are in, feet are up, and then the legs drop to the right. Right hand can help. Gently press the knees down, and you might turn your head to the left. Let your feet relax. Again, breathe deeply into your belly. Feel your ribs kind of widen and settle. Feel the width across your chest. Good. And now after resetting the spine, we are ready to stretch out and relax. So I want you to get comfortable. You're going to stretch your legs really long. If you have a blanket close by, you can take that and cover yourself. Get really cozy. You might need a little pillow under your head. And you want to feel like your knees are wider than your hips and that your toes can just drop out if that's what they want to do. Some people like to have their hands on their body like that. Some people like to have their arms out by their sides. But you want to feel long, smooth, at ease. So you stay laying down. I'm going to sit up so I can read to you. I want you to feel the earth really just holding you. This is an important pose. This is the time that your body integrates the benefits of all the deep breathing, all the stretching and folding and reaching and strengthening. It's all getting assimilated. It's percolating through your body right now. So very important pose. You really want to rest. So let the earth hold you. Your breath becomes natural. There's no work to be done. You're just the observer. You're watching, you're sensing, noticing without judgment the arising and passing of each moment. It's a true meditation. It's a meditation on the well-being that you're experiencing in this moment.
it might be an opportunity for you to taste your essential nature, which is love and peace. You also might access what we call the ground of being. There's something really spacious yet solid, eternal, that is within you that you might get a little taste of. This is another poem by Dana Faulds called Dare to Be Nothing. Rest in the space that exists before you try to meditate. Rest in the quiet that underlies all thought. Return again and again to flowing stillness without denying a single expression of it. Dare to be nothing, to know nothing, to do nothing, until the vastness pours through you. I need to feel that vast spaciousness. And it's my strong recommendation that you stay in this relaxed state for 10 minutes if you can. If not 10, at least 5. And I'm going to leave you to do that yourself. And as you're resting, I send you wishes for peace, health, and happiness, now and always. Namaste.